Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video we're going to talk about something that's been making some headlines, that the Postal Service finalized plans to purchase a mostly gas-powered delivery fleet, defying the EPA and the White House. And that's kind of a little interesting because here's John Kerry, February 24th, getting press about how Russia should care about the environment.
I think hopefully President Putin would realize that in the northern part of his country, they used to live on 66% of a nation that was over frozen land. Now it's thawing, and his infrastructure is at risk, and the people of Russia are at risk. And so I hope President Putin will help us to stay on track with respect to what we need to do for the climate.
Oh, what we need to do for the climate, like the solutions John Kerry and everybody he associates himself with since, Barack's first two White House occupations and now in his third one with the same set of people and everybody that John knows worldwide, Al Gore and all the environmental voices that he hangs out with and everything that we should be doing, yet they have all refused the environmental education and agenda the world needs since November of 93. Okay. And, these solutions here would create massive, immediate betterment. Everybody right now could end their disposable society. You end yours, your neighbors all end theirs, your town ends theirs, everybody just doesn't use disposable anymore. You are doing massive environmental good. Okay, do you ever hear John Kerry telling you, hey, we need your cooperation, people? No, 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 no. And that's number three, individual cooperation in a lot of ways. First, you have to educate people so that they know how to and why they should cooperate, and then they will cooperate, especially when all of society is doing it, especially when we have leadership by example. And you never hear them talking about hemp. No, just clean energy, clean, electric vehicles. I mean, that's all they're talking about now. But then even the post office, it just did an $11.3 billion contract to replace its fleet of vehicles, and what they bought was 90% gas-powered trucks and 10% electric vehicles, which, this article says defied the Biden administration officials' objections that the multi-billion-dollar contract would undercut the nation's climate goals. Let me tell you, their climate goals really couldn't be undercut by much because they undercut the light years better that they've prevented for decades. And had they allowed it decades ago, we wouldn't still be screaming for solutions. We wouldn't still be talking about this subject matter. But the EPA Associate Minister for Policy, Vicky Arroyo, said the decision was a critical lost opportunity. Really? But refusing the light years bus, environmental education and agenda, the solutions the world needs, that Vicky, I can assure you, is a way bigger lost opportunity. And the thing about this is that these gas powered trucks emit the exact same pollution as our electricity does. Okay, all of this hype about electric vehicles. Oh, maybe someday in the future, maybe there's going to be a power grid that is powered from renewable sources, from clean energy. Maybe. Right now, that's unicorns. Okay, that's not reality. So, the fact that they're all putting this down and making such a big deal about it is absolutely ridiculous, because these trucks, they say that this fleet is going to last for like 2 decades, and it says, purchasing tens of thousands of gasoline fuel delivery trucks locks the USPS into further oil dependence, air pollution, and climate impacts for decades to come, and harms the long-term prospects of our nation's vital mail provider. But you know what? We are at a minimum a decade away from having clean energy supply over 50% of the power grid. Okay, that isn't just going to happen overnight because, oh my God, no, we're finally going to act on what we've been talking about doing, clean energy. They've been talking about it for 5 decades, and they're still yapping about it more than they are doing it. Okay, and then they want to, put out all these fleets of vehicles and not have the actual clean infrastructure that is supposed to make these vehicles so great. So you have all these vehicles out there that are the same as burning gas, and people just don't know it because all of the propaganda that all these people, that get press like John Kerry and friends, they don't tell you that it is the same as burning gas. So it this is really such a moot conversation, but it made news because there always has to be yapping about the environment. I mean, the I almost did a video about it last week. There was a story that 8 8 million, 8 billion, 80 billion, 80 million was put out for grants for more climate journalists. Okay, so you're going to be hearing more and more hysteria. Remember Charlie Chester and Project Veritas? Climate is the next one. We're gonna, that's it. We're gonna get the fair. Climate. And so now there's like all these grants for even more writers, and it's all ridiculous because there isn't even a clean power structure out there. So this isn't really a story. It's just a lot of yapping. But environmentalists say the decision would lock in decades of climate warming emissions and worsen air pollution. Oh my God, right? We don't really talk about air pollution that much in America anymore since we got rid of smog. But there's a lot of things in there, but people don't care because they see blue skies. If it's invisible, what? Huh? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Oh, what? Radiation? Oh, no, I can't see it. If people can't see, if they can see the smog, they care. If it's invisible, well, no. Oh God, you're such an alarmist. Anyways, but even because all this yapping about it, so even the Sierra Club got in on it, and their Catherine Garcia, acting director of the Sierras Club Clean Transportation Campaign, said, given our climate commitments, given public health commitments, it's completely unacceptable for the post office to cling to an overwhelmingly fossil fuel fleet. This lady's an idiot because our electricity is a fossil fuel fleet. Whether she's oblivious to it or just doesn't want to say that because she just wants to get in on this ridiculousness. But that's what they do. They all get in on it. Okay, this guy from Earth Justice, Adrian Martinez, an attorney. Okay, we're not done fighting this reckless decision. Earth Justice, I can assure you, doesn't care about the solutions we need that would create massive immediate betterment because, I've spent 28 years knocking on environmental voices doors, and I've knocked on Earth Justice door too. And like everyone else, why would we even reply to her? I don't know. We could just get some good done. But, no, he's not done fighting this reckless decision that is irrelevant. Okay, we don't have a clean energy grid. We don't have clean electric cars. So just yapping out here. And the post office said that it was open to pursuing more electric vehicles if additional funding happened, but it had waited long enough for a new fleet of vehicles. Its fleet is aging. They'll be selling their aging fleet, and this will become homes for Americans that can't even afford a home anymore, right? They'll be redoing them. They'll just, the engines won't work, but they'll make the inside out to be a little living unit. So that's probably where a lot of these are going to go because, let me see, their fleet Yeah, is 148,000 delivery trucks. So, yeah, that's wow, 148,000 living units for Americans. Yeah, because that's where Americans are living now, on the streets. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where you see these trucks ending up at, the ones that are being replaced. But this is just a video because, everything you hear about the environment is just hype, hype, hype. Nobody talks any real logical sense. Nobody has any real logical solutions except for me, and every environmental voice out there won't allow them. And John Kerry is just one of them. And right, I mean, they can't even get the post office to go along with their, ridiculousness. But you're going to be seeing more and more and more and more climate stories because I just I had that article. So yeah, here's one of the articles about it. It says that the AP is having more than assigning more than 24 journalists across the world to cover climate issues in the single largest expansion paid through grants. And yeah, 8 million. So it's $8 million in grants over 3 years. About 20 of the climate journalists will be new hires. So you're going to be seeing, not that you don't see enough of this ridiculous in the news, but you're going to be seeing a lot more because, like Charlie Chester told you, they're going to be pushing it down your throats, whether it makes sense or not. And so you have to come here to find out if it makes sense. And I can assure you, no. I can already tell you, well, it doesn't make sense, and they're not going to make sense. The sense is made right here by the environmental educator. And if only Project Veritas or Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan would do their job and put this in front of the world so that people know there are solutions, the world would get behind this. So I work on that every day too, people. Stay tuned.